You're celebrity magic and dog walking habits. Get comfy and cozy. Kick off your shoes, soaking it up.
We're live on the set, from the red carpet to a doggy bed. We're tuning in and tuning out, learning what MUPO and Friends is all about. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. Behind the scenes and acting dreams, the studio audience screams, the inside scoop. We have it all. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. And tuning out, learning what MUPO and Friends is all about. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to MUPO and Friends. We are,
Emanuela Messina,
and I'm Michelle MUPO.
and we're brought to you by MUPO TV.
And you could catch this show and many others at www.mupotv.com. That's www.mupotv.com. And if you want to know a little bit more about our company and you're looking for a career in the entertainment industry, or if someone said, hey, you can't do that, you're never going to make it, MUPO Entertainment is the place to be. Go to www.mupoentertainment.com and stay tuned because our show is rocking. And I have to say, we have really some really pretty cool guests that have been on in the past. We're going to probably bring some back again. But this one coming on is a legend.
Yeah, and it's been such a long time that we haven't been on, but I am so excited to be back, and especially for our next interview that is coming up. And guys, we are just excited to bring you guys all the celebrities and the entrepreneurs that you all want to know about.
And by the way, we have our own app. It's on Android and iOS, MUPO Entertainment. Get everyone to download it.
That's right. If you haven't downloaded, please make sure that you do that because we are in 444 countries and counting.
144.
144 countries and over 2 million VODs, which honestly, I think that's something to definitely celebrate because we are always continuously growing here at MUPO Entertainment. And I haven't asked you this question in a super long time. Do you know what I'm going to ask you? Do you know what I'm going to ask you?
Go ahead, just ask.
Okay,
Everybody wants
I'm
to
going to
know.
ask you because this is my favorite question. Michelle, did you have a MUPO awesome week?
I always have a MUPO awesome week. Let me tell you, I am so blessed that I woke up today, and each and every one of you should be as well. I mean, you can never go backwards in life, but you could always go forward. So if something happened in the past, what we just got to do is move forward and just keep trucking. And, you take every day in stride. But the thing of it is we taped I guess it was a sitcom. Like we did the pilot for the MUPO Familia sitcom, and with all the little, kind of sketches, the scripts that I wrote, they're like little scenes, and we put them all together in a 58-minute, I guess,
Film.
Pilot. Yeah, film. And we just want each and everyone to share it, watch it from beginning to end, because we need to get 1 million VODs. Right now we have 2 million VODs from the whole entire company that we have. That's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely is something huge. And this is what I'm saying. We are always growing here. And please remember to download the app, Android, iOS. We're on Roku and Fire Stick as well. And if you want more information, where do they go to get that info, Michelle?
www.mupoentertainment.com. That's www.mupoentertainment.com.
Love it.
And we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with this iconic celebrity. I'm so excited because I watched her, God, when I was a kid. But
Oh.
we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with our special guest. And we're back with Mupo and Friends. And today we truly have a special guest joining us. She's a talented actress with a career spanning several decades, known for her unforgettable performances in both film and television. You may recognize her from iconic roles in classics like Blade Runner and 6 Feet Under.
And now she is taking on a compelling new character in the highly anticipated film, Killing Faith, where she blends supernatural elements with a classical Western narrative. Her ability to bring both depth and complexity to every role she plays makes her a standout in the industry.
And we're excited to dive into her experiences on the set of Killing Faith and explore what inspires her both on and off screen. Would you please join me in welcoming the incredible, talented, beautiful Joanna Cassidy? And I'm just curious, what drew you to the role of Maggie in Killing Faith, and how did you prepare for that character?
Interesting thing. I have dear friends of mine who live in Germany who run the Oldenburg Film Festival, and the wife's name is Deborah Unger, a very famous actress. She was in Crash and so many things. And she, before COVID, lived downtown in one of the big spaces there, and we were all doing the art walk, which is something you could do once a month in downtown LA before it got really tough down there. Anyway, so she introduced me to one of the other residents in the building, and it turns out he's a screenwriter, et cetera. His girlfriend had a gallery there. Anyway, we all hooked up, liked each other, and he said, I'm writing this script, and I think you would be great for one of the characters. So then that was what, 4 years ago. So I was kind of with this project for a long time, and then from COVID, we went into, there was a strike. But because I was on the national board at Screen Actors Guild, I got them pushed up in the line of people that were trying to get their films made. There were multiple stars that were offered the role, the leading role, and I don't know how some actors do it, but some of them just hold on to a script. They don't read it. And then they finally give an answer 6 months later. I don't operate that way. I like to read something and move it on. If I'm, it just seems very fair to me. So
Me
anyway,
too.
I knew that I was going to do this part. I love this part. It's 1850s. She's, a woman that was ran out of money, and everybody was chasing gold then. And I don't know, it just seemed challenging. I love that style of clothing, and just truss me up into some tight, uncomfortable wool gown, and I got out there. So the film kept getting changed, and because we couldn't get finally locked on to Guy Pearce, and at one point in time, he was going to come over and his representatives hadn't fixed up his travel visa yet. So we had to put it off another 6 months. Anyway, getting to do the film by then, I had the lines down. I had been saying them for years. And we got there. It was summertime. And I don't know if you've ever been in Santa Fe in the summer. They're the most horrendous storms ever. I mean, like huge electrical downpours. And that's what we were faced with. And one night I went out to do my scene. They had everything all set up outside. The props were, we rehearsed at 5 o'clock. We had a little girl on the set who was, I guess she was 3.5 at that time. And, children can only work 4 hours and then they have to take a break. And they really can't go past midnight. That's when they're supposed to pull the plug on a child actor. Anyways, the storms would start. And this first night, it kept going until 12:30 in the morning. And then we had to start. And then so we were sitting on everything that was soaking wet and we did the scene. And we only got through half of it, which was my side. So I had to come back and then do the other sides of the scene. It was challenging, but really a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And the film blends the supernatural elements with all the Western settings. How did it work with the unique combination with the influence of your performance?
Say that again.
How did that unique combination influence your performance, the supernatural and the Western classic?
Oh, well,
setting?
you just really, with something like that, Tamala and I are always laughing about something like that, because I made a really ugly face in front of her one time and she said, "Oh my God, that's the most frightening thing I've ever seen." So I said, "Well, I guess I have it in me to really scare people if I want to," she laughed. And there are always those places to go. And as you get older, like I am, I don't think about looking ugly on screen. I just go, "Oh, well, that's my job. I can do that." And so as this character moves along and she's telling the story about how they were attacked by Indians, and the worst part of the attack was that we were attacked by a white man who just was like a devil from hell and came and did the most horrific things. I'm describing all this, which does eventually lead to that person who did those horrible acts. So I set the stage, I guess you could say.
Right on. And can you share like your most exciting experience, or maybe even a challenge from, I know you did a little bit of the challenge before with the weather, but filming in the rugged landscapes of the 1849 Arizona Territory setting, because I think that's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
We found a rock formation that we chose to shoot in front of that was absolutely extraordinary. And the lighting crew just lit it, like it just made it so surreal looking. It was almost like we were on the moon. So it's very craggy and scary, scary looking. I think that what happens when obviously most places have been shot out at one point or another. There's been a movie made there on any piece of land that's unique and says something besides the actors. And this part really said a lot. It was very, very incredible. And when you have landscapes like that as a character, it's really nice to, incorporate that in your mysticism, so to speak.
And how is it working with co-stars like Guy Pearce and DeWanda Wise shape your approach to your character?
Well, because they were dressed in period clothing, and they're all good enough actors that we were all well rehearsed. And it had to be because the time was so limited. I mean, you have to shoot in between rainfalls. You really have to be on top of it and be ready. I had all the lines, so I just rehearsing. All I had to do was look at Guy Pearce, who had very straggly hair, the gigantic mustache, and DeWanda was adorable. All the characters in the scene were just adorable. The little girl is frightening. She's got this very still face, and she really didn't. She stayed in character. That little creature who comes from a very interesting family. She's got like 6 or 7 brothers and sisters, and they're all in showbiz.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to be right back with Joanna Cassidy.
And we're back with Joanna Cassidy. Joanna, what themes or messages from Killing Faith do you hope to resonate with most of your audiences?
What themes?
Yes, or messages.
I think that well, the one thing that I believe came through my character, and there were a lot of truths in these films, because during the 1800s, there was a horrible disease that was going around that was killing people left and right. And, you know, it was when the Europeans came over to the States and thought that they'll nab lands from the Indians, you know, they gave them TB and horrible diseases, which and then many of them perished because of the diseases they brought over. So, but I think the one thing about my character that you know, can resonate with people is the fact that I really had the guts to go out on my own with my children and uh go in and be amongst these people, because I didn't start out alone in a lone wagon. There were, you know, 12 wagons that went out, and with families, and they really had no idea what to expect. I don't think for a second they thought they were
Sure.
going to be scalped.
And if you could choose any of your past roles to revisit in a sequel, which one would you pick and why?
In a sequel, well, I don't know. I really thought that I should have been the second Blade Runner, because they could have brought me in as the human that they designed Zora. You know, they picked a human to design the character. So I thought that it would be really cool if in the second Blade Runner I walked through as the human. They weren't as clever thinkers as I am, so there you go. I didn't get to be in it, but I don't know.
I love it.
I don't think I have to replicate anything at this point. I think, you know, I think it's done, and enough years have passed that I really, you know, I don't look the same as those characters, although the character could move on. No, I think that what is out there is a lot of new new work for me. I'm going to be working across from Pedro Pascal in a movie called Behemoth, starting in November. I'm very excited about that. I'm playing a
Right on.
southern,
Mhm.
a Texas girl.
Nice.
So, what was one piece of advice that you actually received early in your career that you found surprisingly helpful today?
Um, well, I've watched actors talk about their acting chops over the years. I like to hear what they have to say, and I think that I just watched something the other day where Edward Olmos was talking about acting, and he said, "I've never acted a day in my life. I say the lines." I think the thing that's very hard for me to do because I sort of jump around. I have very high energy, is to be still. And I think when you're really still as an actor, that's very effective. Anthony Hopkins does that with great. I mean, I think I would have to fill my clothes with rocks in order to do that. I'm really a horse at the gate.
Me too.
I'm serious. Someone would have to be lying down on the ground and holding my hands. So I wouldn't move an inch.
And can you share a moment from the set of Killing Faith that made you laugh or surprised you?
A moment from what?
From Killing Faith that made you
From
laugh
Killing
or surprised
Faith?
you? Yeah.
Uh, I let's see. Oh, it surprised me.
Or made you laugh? One of the two.
Well, as I was telling the story, it's a long story. It's like a 13-minute scene where nobody says anything but me. And I think what really surprised me is I got through it. under the pressure that I was under because everyone's going, oh my God, we have an hour before we lose the little girl. And I'm going, oh my God, I have to do all these lines. And I think about that. I'm sorry, but I do, I do. It's and also what surprised me was uh, it was such a moment in time. I was literally able to, because of the circumstances and the lighting and the background, and I really felt for several moments that I traveled back in time and was sitting in front of a wagon, broken down with horse carcasses next to it, which we had just finished consuming.
Wow.
Wow. We're going to
Go
take a
ahead.
quick commercial break and we're going to be right back with Joanna Cassidy.
And we're back with the amazing, talented icon, Joanna Cassidy. Joanna, how do you think your experiences in life influence your characters you portray?
Oh gosh, I think a lot of
Because you
that
have
has to.
power. You have power.
Oh, thank you. I think that's just because of the care that I take of myself, really. I mean, I think because you know, I don't want to be trite, but I'm sort of a gym rat, really. I
Right
love the
on.
gym. I love the gym. I love to work out, and that's it creates a rotation of energy that I have to keep up. I have no intention of fading away, and I also was raised by an English mother who taught me to uh, uh, enunciate and speak correctly. It's very hard for me nowadays to hear some actors. They kind of they pull it in, and I'm going, what did he say? What did he say? I like people to understand me, and I watch film now to see who speaks clearly and who doesn't. It's fascinating to me. It's about training too, but it's also, if I speak, I want to be heard, unless I'm playing a 90-year-old, in which case I probably would disappear my voice. I pull it in, because they don't have the strength to bring out a voice. But I think that's important.
Awesome.
And if Killing Faith were to be adapted into a musical, what what song would you want your character to sing or genre?
What was it, Chaka Khan that did "I'm Every Woman"?
Right on.
That's a
Right
good
on.
one.
Now
That's a good one.
I just popped up
I
in my.
love Shaka Khan.
I don't know, maybe something by Prince or Paul.
Okay.
Nice. Very
All
nice.
my favorites, all of my favorites. So, what was one unconventional method that you used to prepare for a character that you haven't shared before?
Hmm. Um, well, it was very cold that night, and we shot all night. I put they had a fire going, and because I wanted to scare myself, and I wanted to make sure that the audience was scared too. So in other words, I put one of those. Took one of the hot embers and wrapped it up in some rawhide, and I put it between my knees, and it made me think of what it would have felt like to have an arrow go through my leg.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
So that enabled me to kick back to those times. And it was really funny because it did really feel like I had been pierced by an arrow. So,
Wow. That's amazing. And in your opinion, what's the common misconception about the film and television industry that you'd like to clarify?
uh, can you give me an example of what people are saying about it? Like in what part of it? What's the misconception? The biggest misconception is that people think it's easy.
Mm.
They look at the result and they go, "Oh, I could do that."
Hmm.
It looks easy, but believe me, it's not. It is not. You're running up against everything.
No, I know. It just
Yeah.
a day on set. How many hours is an average for you?
Well, depending on the circumstances, it can be
12, 15?
can be 15, 16
Yeah.
hours, generally the average. Now, because we had a child on the shoot, she came in at 5 like we did because we thought we were going to shoot as soon as it got dark. And there she was for way more hours than she should have been, but her mother let us stay with us. So,
Mm.
but
Wow.
I don't expect anything less than that. And I don't mind it. The time is relative with me. I just, you know, I'm tireless.
I love it.
Mhm.
Can you describe a scene in Killing Faith that challenged you in a way that you didn't expect to?
It really was all very challenging because, like I said, I had all the dialogue. I really
That's
had
the most important thing. Like people don't know their lines when they come on set. I feel anyway. A lot of them don't. When
some of them are unsure, but it's very different when you learn lines off a set. Um, it's very different than being on a set and speaking to someone. It's a whole other experience because
Mm.
you're getting their energy and how they say it. So the rhythm is different. And you're looking at somebody and maybe their eyes throw you off, or the camera crew throws you off. There are many things that are distracting.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's awesome. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with Joanna Cassidy. We're back with the amazing, talented icon, Joanna Cassidy, who I've probably watched for such a long time. Joanna, if you could have dinner with any character that you've played, who would it be and what would you want to discuss?
With the character that I've played,
Yeah, I was.
mm, I probably want to have dinner with Claire from Under Fire.
Right
Because
on.
she was very smart, very savvy, and went into dangerous places and confronted people that were absolutely frightening. And she took a great deal of chances. I thought she was a really interesting person who was evolved enough and mature enough to have not multiple affairs, but she was dealing in the moment of who am I here with now? I may not be here tomorrow. And in that particular case, she was with Nick Nolte one place and then Gene Hackman another place or another part of the world. So she lived for the moment.
Awesome.
And before we wrap things up, we have one last question to ask. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of your acting career, especially with intense roles like Killing Faith?
How do I deal with that?
How do you balance both your personal and your demands of your acting career?
It's my brain is very compartmentalized.
Mm.
It really is. It's broken up into all these blocks. It's like a Rubik's cube,
Hmm.
quite honestly.
I get that.
So I have to see if I can work it out,
I
get
get
all
that.
lined up again. It can be complicated because being an actor and being a human being, rolling in this world, honestly, to me, the most important thing is you just can't believe your press. You have to be who you are. And then you go onto a job site and you become a character. But I don't want to walk around with being a character all the time. I'm just a girl from New Jersey.
Right on.
I love that. Joanna, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and visiting you today and learning more about yourself.
Thank
I loved
you.
it. Yeah.
And as always, thank you for tuning in to MUPO and Friends, courtesy of MUPO TV. And you could catch this show and many others at www.mupotv.com. That's www.mupotv.com. And you could catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, and don't forget to download the app on Android and iOS. And if you get a chance, make sure you tune into the MUPO Familia sitcom SNL sketch, 58-minute pilot. Check us out. we're here, and make sure that everybody goes and visits Joanna Cassidy.
Oh, well, it's official Joanna Cassidy. That's Instagram, and Facebook is Joanna Cassidy. And that's it. There'll
Right
be
on.
more. When I get this laugh tape out, there will be more. I will be on TikTok as well.
Right on. I
That's
love it.
amazing. This is Emanuela Messina with our host, Michelle Mupo. And until next time,
Have a MUPO awesome week.
Celebrity magic and dog walking habits. Get comfy and cozy. Kick off your shoes, soaking it up.
We're live on the set, from the red carpet to a doggy bed. We're tuning in and tuning out, learning what MUPO and Friends is all about. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. Behind the scenes and acting dreams, the studio audience screams, the inside scoop. We have it all. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. We're on the couch and we're making trends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in. It's MUPO and Friends. It's MUPO and Friends. You better tune in.